As I said, my name's Stuart Craig. I'm Marketing Manager for Shield Total Insurance. Thank you, dog. The home of the Armadillo. But I also provide insurance to the Camping and Caravanning Club, Club Care Insurance, and Crusader Insurance. We operate under many different brands, and as Barry pointed out, we have different schemes tailored towards you as individuals, and we'll direct you to the most appropriate place. I'm delighted to be talking to you today because during my 32 years in the outdoor industry, this show has quite a special place in my heart. I've been a journalist and editor of Motorhome and Caravan magazines, where Daniel, testing hundreds of vehicles all around Europe, and was actually part of the team that started the first Motorhome Show in Peterborough more years ago than I care to remember. Yeah, there were some pretty horrible photographs of that kind of time. You're all here because you're either motorhome owners, or you're interested in joining this friendly band of people and spending lots of hard-earned money on a motorhome. As you'll see here at this show, they come in all shapes and sizes, and they all need to be insured to use the road. Insurance is what we call a distress purchase. This means that we must have it, but we're not very overjoyed at the prospect. What you all really want to know is how much is your insurance going to cost? That's the answer. Cheap, isn't it? Less than 65 pence a day. That's the average cost of a motorhome policy in the United Kingdom, if you take it out with us. Some of you will pay more, some of you will pay less. Our cheapest price is actually only 42 pence a day. Not bad for a £60,000 motorhome. But price isn't everything. Barry's given you some excellent advice, so I'm not going to spend time going over all of that old ground. What I want to do is to help you get the best value from your motorhome insurance by giving you just 6 very quick tips. Buy from a specialist. There are dozens of these. You pick up a magazine like MMM, you'll find 20, 27 adverts in MMM magazine every single month. They're all good. I'm not going to knock any of the opposition. A specialist knows what a motorhome is. They know how it's used, where it's used, and where you're forced to keep it, what you put in it, and what it's worth to you. A high street insurance broker, or one of the large faceless insurance companies I won't mention, thinks you're just a white van man with a mattress in the back. He doesn't understand the risk he's taking on, or the cover you need, and you'll end up paying over the odds for a policy that actually doesn't suit your requirements. My second tip is to move house. Sell up where you are and move. Seriously, your postcode is probably the biggest single factor that affects how much you pay for your insurance. Small chart here on postcodes. You can live where insurance is really expensive, like N7, which is North London, or where it's cheapest, like PL30 in Bodmin and Cornwall, and a whole range of rates in between. I think that's actually just been revised this week. I think Slough is now the most expensive place to insure a car or a motorhome, and the cheapest place is Torbay. I have a colleague who lives in NG1, that's gun crime capital of Britain, Nottingham, and he keeps his motorhome 20 odd miles away at NG32 in a secure storage compound. The cost of his annual storage is actually covered by the saving he makes on his motorhome insurance. And his motorhome is far safer too. Your insurance is rated based upon your primary storage location. That's where you keep it most often. So 160 days a year in a storage compound, the rest of the time at home, it's going to take your home as your primary location, okay? Tip 3 is to limit your mileage. One of the reasons why all you guys here are such good risks is that generally you don't actually travel very far. The average motorhome covers about 6,500 miles a year. Compare that to the 60,000 miles a year for an average Fiat Ducato white box van. Discounts are available for reduced mileage with most insurers. If you go over that mileage, you can always increase it, for a small fee, of course. Use your no claims discount. This is one of the most often misunderstood aspects of motorhome insurance. You can't use it twice. If you're using it on your private car, you can't use it again on your motorhome, despite what some people advertise. What we can do is match it with an introductory bonus, sometimes called an introductory discount, of up to 60%, allowing you to then go on and earn no claims discount in your own right on your motorhome. Such discounts or bonuses, as you can see, 60% makes a massive difference to what you end up paying. Tip 5, don't let the kids drive. Adding younger people or less experienced people to your policy significantly increases your premium. This is because the overall rate that you pay is often based on the youngest driver on the policy, even if they only drive occasionally. Restrict drivers to those that are necessary, especially if they're under 25, and name them as drivers. Don't use an any driver option. That puts your cost up straight away. The insurance company has no idea who you're going to be lending your motorhome to and for how long. Security, something that Barry's touched on, and there'll be a further presentation later on that goes into motorhome security in more detail. Discourage thieves, take extra security measures. Alarms, extra locks, tracking devices, they all drive down your insurance costs. What's acceptable and what isn't will differ from company to company. We like tracking devices. They're a requirement on motorhomes with us costing more than £50,000. Other companies, that limit might be 40, some companies are 60. The reason we like them is they help us get our insurable property back, usually very quickly. Because they feature so heavily on motorhomes, 40% of stolen motorhomes are actually recovered. That compares to just 3% of stolen caravans that ever get recovered. One alarming trend I just want to make you aware of is that we see increasing evidence that thieves are using Google Earth in order to steal motorhomes. They're going onto Google's website, they're looking at your satellite imagery, they're seeing where you keep your motorhome, they're figuring out the best way that they can get across fields to get to that motorhome. They're using Street View and walking down your street, they're having a look at the gate, they're having a look at the security devices you might have fitted to your motorhome. Okay, so when you go home today, look at your motorhome on Google Earth, see how it's portrayed, and then do something different. Move it, change the wheel clamp, turn it around and park it the other way, just so when the thief turns up at your house, he finds something that's unexpected. Next thing I want to mention is claims. Barry's touched on it. You hope that you never have one. I actually kind of hope that you do. A claim is every insurance company's shop window. You'll only know how good your insurance company is when you actually come to claim. The service you get is what differentiates us all. If we do our job properly, you will stay with us and you'll tell 200 people how good we were. If we do our job badly, you'll tell everybody that you meet. When you think of having a claim, you're probably thinking of having an accident. But there's actually much more to it than that. I'm going to share some confidential data with you. There are a couple of competitors lurking about, but you've been very patient with me. You managed to stay awake. So you do deserve some juicy stuff before I go. Claims table. 46%, nearly half of all claims that take place are for vehicle windscreens, as Barry can bear testimony to. That could cost you from as little as £330 for a basic Fiat Ducato windscreen, right the way up to £6,600, I think is the most expensive one we've had to replace this year for an A-class motorhome. 19% of claims, road accidents. Most of those happen within 5 miles of your own home. Why? Because that's where you're at your most complacent. You know the roads, you think you know the roads, you're far more likely to have an accident bumping it into your gate post, getting it up your driveway, than you are out on a motorway. Theft, 6.5% theft. We actually see quite a few thefts at shows like this one. Think about it. You don't know who your neighbours are. You're away from your van all day, looking around the show or sitting in a boring insurance seminar. So I better let you get back just to check that it's still there. Before I do, just want to ask you to please visit our website, shieldtotalinsurance.co.uk. We have lots of fun stuff on there, not just boring insurance stuff. We currently have a competition to win a week's stay on a UK campsite of your choice, and lots of fun information about safety and security that you can browse through. It's probably a lot more interesting than listening to me. Thank you very much. Thanks.
What?